Hey, my name's Ciera, and I want to welcome you to Ciera Talks. This is my podcast where I just talk about things, whether it's books, movies, television, music, cooking, baking, history, just random things that I like and care about. And I'm here to keep you company while you're cooking or cleaning or working out, doing your homework, painting. Who knows? What are you doing? What are you up to? Or you might not be doing anything. You just want to listen to something. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. In this episode, I'll be talking about Anne Rice's Interview with the Vampire, which airs on AMC and streams on AMC+. It's based on a novel by the same name, Interview with the Vampire by Anne Rice. I'll be answering some questions my friends sent me, my mutuals, my dear sweet babies. And yeah, talking about Interview with the Vampire, AMC, Real quick rundown. Louis de Pontelac is a black vampire being interviewed by journalist and author Daniel Malloy. Okay, Indy asked me, what got you to watch Interview with a Vampire? I was watching a show or a movie, something on Hulu, and the ad came on for Interview with a Vampire, and I saw Jacob Anderson, and I was like, oh, dude from Game of Thrones. And, the ad is playing, and they were like, Interview with a Vampire. And I was like, oh, a black vampire? Excuse me? A black vampire show? Okay. And then, honestly, I kind of forgot about it because I'm a sci-fi girly, but not that heavily. So I was on Tumblr. Like, time goes by, I'm on Tumblr, and I see one of my mutuals reblog a clip from Interview with a Vampire, and this clip just drew me in. I said, oh, this might be my kind of show. This might be my kind of writing. It was Louis and Grace, and she said to her brother, I hear you catting around with some white man. Huh? And he had the nerve to be like, he ain't white, he French. Hold on. When did French stop being white? Certainly not in the early 1900s, Louis. Come on now. How did we get there? And after that, I had to see what the show was about. So, got on AMC and watched the pilot. Now, I have some feelings, have some opinions about AMC. But one thing about AMC that I can say, AMC pilots are like no other. There's something different about AMC when it comes to those pilots that I don't see from other networks. From The Walking Dead, to Mad Men, to Breaking Bad, to Interview with a Vampire. Those pilots are so effective in making you feel like I have to see the next episode. I have to tune in next week. I have to see where this story goes. Just truly, truly effective storytelling. And that goes for Interview with a Vampire. Like, I have a past with AMC. The Walking Dead was my show. I'll talk about that someday. But that Interview with a Vampire pilot, they gave me so much. They gave me a queer black vampire. They gave me a beautiful, beautiful black family that loves one another, but not in a sugary, sweet kind of way, in like a realistic way, where we love each other, but we still like kind of bite at each other, but there's just love behind it. Like, they would never let something happen to the other one. Very beautiful. Love to see it. And then they were like, tragedy is commonplace. Girl, Paul, how did we get here? And this is prior to me reading the books. So I was really taken aback. I was like, oh, now y'all was just tap dancing. We were just at the wedding. Y'all just jumped the broom. Why are we dying? Lord, what is happening? But we have to get past that. They to do it for the plot. It's in the book. It's canon. So you just have to accept it, apparently. But yeah, that little clip made me watch that show. And that pilot, I was like, oh yeah, when the next episode come out? Because I actually watched the first episode probably the Monday or Tuesday after it came out. And then I was like, oh, I have to get AMC Plus. Boo, corporations. But I got it, ended up watching the show, ended up absolutely loving it. Colors only, no whites allowed. Iconic, an instant meme, an iconic meme. Thank you, writers. Thank you, Jacob. So yeah, a post on Tumblr got me to watch Interview with the Vampire. Next question. My favorite episode of Interview with the Vampire. Honestly, it might be the pilot. There are so many episodes that have amazing moments, and I'll talk about that later. I love the pilot. It's just really good. That's our one and only time seeing human Louis with his brown eyes and his family before the war, before things fell apart. It was just, yeah, I think it's the first episode. And Jacob Anderson is so amazing. Like, everyone says it, but it's because it's true. Like, no one is lying. No one's like, oh, I can't say anything bad about Jacob Anderson. He's going to ruin my career. That's not going to happen. Like, no. Jacob Anderson is an amazing actor, and he does Louis so well, from the accent work to the mannerisms. He's just an amazing actor. Human Louis, vampire Louis, ancient Louis, where we are now. He's not truly ancient, but he's old as hell. Like, he's in his hundreds. He's old. And he's just a very great actor. But yeah, I think the pilot may be my favorite episode. Now, one of my very good friends, Nay, asked me, what's my favorite moment from Interview with the Vampire? My favorite moment? I believe it was episode 3. I believe it was episode 3. When Louis went to the alderman's home because he was like, hey, racism is not cool, man. That was not the vibe. He was like, bitch, you got me fucked up. And the alderman shot Louis in the chest, and he looked down at the bullet wounds and the burn holes in his jacket and looked back up at the alderman and said, I'll let you reload. Like, who do you think you are? Like, let's discuss. Who do you, Louis de Pontelac, the titular vampire, think that you are? Because I also think that's who you are. Actually, I think you're more than that, because I'll Let You Reload is insane. It's amazing. It's iconic. It's next level. It's history making. It was so good, and just so him really feeling like, bitch, you can't touch me. Like, you're really just a little human. Like, is it the 1920s? Or was it the 1910s still? Early 1900s? I have to look. But you may be a white man. I'm a literal vampire. I shouldn't even exist because I'm, dead. And Louis was like, and now your heart is in my hand. Like, that's crazy. Like, I'm going to eat you so bad. I'll Let You Reload is the best moment of that show, to be, because that suit was bad, and I was mad that he got shot in it. That suit was so bad, and Miss Carol did her big one on that suit. Carol Tall is amazing. The costuming, out of this world. She is doing some amazing work on Interview with a Vampire. All of her character designs are just amazing. I love seeing what she does. And honestly, AMC, can we please get some more behind the scenes with Carol? Like, I would like to see it. The fans would like to see it. When did I fall in love with the show? That's a hilarious question. Because I'm pretty sure it was during the pilot. And the other part of the question was, what scene / which characters did it for you? I am a Louis and Grace girl. I am a Grace apologist because apparently I have to be an apologist for Grace. Louis and Grace do a lot for me. Louis, Grace, and Paul do a lot for me. Just a little tangent. Bring back 22 episode seasons. Like, I know they wouldn't have gotten that many in the first season, but we could have done 12. We could have gotten to know the family a little better. Even though they did an amazing job at like establishing the characters, Paul was established. Grace, Florence, everybody was established, and we got a very good read on who they were as characters. But also, I wanted more Louis, Grace, and not Claudia, Louis, Grace, and Paul. Bring that back. Like, again, it did make for an effective pilot to have all these things, this whirlwind romance, all this tragedy, everything happened in one episode, which was like a matter of months. It was not a long time from Louis meeting Lestat, whose name I barely said, which means, from Louis meeting Lestat to Louis being turned was not a very long time. And I just feel like, bring back longer seasons, man. Like, give me a beach episode, like give me a filler episode. Like, that was one of my biggest things with season 1. I wanted to see more Louis and Claudia when Lestat was gone. They were without that man for years, and we don't get to see it. And I feel like that's a real disservice to the show, to the fans, to the actors, to the story of just being told, oh yeah, they were living, they were in the house, and they were walking around New Orleans, like talking about poets and authors, and like, but show me, like, give me a little bit more. But that's fine. What question was I answering? Okay, yeah. What scene / which characters did it for you? Yeah, Louis, Paul, and Grace. I love them dearly. They mean the world to me. The famous spindly roots speech when Louis was in the confessional after Paul's funeral. Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony, give him everything. That man acted his face off. He was just amazing. And to put him in a confessional and have him in this little bitty enclosed setting and have him doing this very intense, very visceral, just shame-ridden confession, beautiful, amazing. That's part of what made the pilot so effective. That man was completely broken down. We saw him go from like closeted and not the most happy, but to still being like, oh, I have my family, I have my business, I love my family, the business takes care of my family, and kind of putting his feelings aside. Really putting his feelings aside, like he was closeted, so he wasn't really living his truth or dealing with his sexuality. And to have him be broken down so much from having all of those things to losing them. He felt like he had lost Grace. His mother blamed him for Paul's death, even though it literally was not his fault. Paul was dead. His baby brother that he loved that man down, is now dead. And the guy that he was kind of dating can levitate and is talking to him in his mind. So now he thinks he's suffering from a fucking mental breakdown. Louis is going through it, and he was like, where can I go but to the Lord? I can go to church. And Lestat was like, bitch, can you? So yeah, pilot episode, absolutely amazing. I love the pilot. Is so good, so well made. I'd be remiss to leave out one of the greatest moments of the pilot episode. Louis in the confessional with the grief That speech, that speech meant so much, and people know it by heart. Not me, I would never. But that speech is absolutely one of the greatest moments on AMC, like from AMC Media. That is one of the greatest moments that I have seen on television, film, read in a book. It's just such, it's so sad. It's absolutely devastating. And it's like the nail in the coffin on Louis' life. Like, it gets us to where we are now during the interview. Absolutely phenomenal. Also, I have been talking like you just know this show. You've totally seen it. So you totally know that Louis is a pimp. Like, it just dawned on me. You have not mentioned what this business is that Louis is doing. That man is a pimp. He's not running a hat shop or a grocery store or a toy store or, you know, something like that, a haberdashery. He's a literal pimp. He is a pimp. I forgot that part because I was so busy being like, oh, Louis, mon fils. Like, he's my baby and my son and I love him. And my bias got the best of me. That man is a literal pimp. But, like a pimp turned vampire pimp. Very crazy. But there's a lot to it, you know, like, it was the early 1900s. He didn't have a lot of options. He's a silly little guy whose father kind of ran a sugar plantation. Again, it was a different time, guys. It's fine. And yeah, after his dad died, he had to do something. His dad died. The sugar plantation fell apart. Pretty sure those happened in reverse order. But yeah, so he had to do something to keep the family afloat because he was the eldest son, the favorite son. Son, I'm your son. But I'm not going to get too deep into it. I just want to do a little short Q&A. And yeah, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. I've been talking long enough. Yeah, that's enough for now. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. If you have a question to ask me, please leave it in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up, all that. Thumb up. If you can do multiple thumbs, that'd be cool. Like, share, subscribe, ring that bell. Thank you again for joining me on my little podcast where I talk about things I like. This will not be an exclusively interview with a vampire podcast. That's just what's on my mind right now at this moment. But yeah, Interview with a Vampire, The Walking Dead, Shogun, books that I've read. I've read so many books, you guys. I'm so well read. The classics, Beloved, The Color Purple, The Joy Luck Club, The Kitchen God's Wife, This Is How You Lose Her. Like, I read the classics. And I like to talk about them. So like I said, if you have questions, leave them down below. Or you can message me on my Tumblr. I'm going to link my Tumblr. And yeah, okay, take care. Bye.